Hey guys, this is me, Chris, and George. Something we've been doing recently is Chris plays against Crazy Stone 6 Dawn and shows us how to do it very simply without a problem. Very educational. But today, I am going to play against Crazy Stone 6 Dawn, which I do not have a great win ratio against. But Chris has to okay my moves. So he'll keep me on track. So a lot of times, if you look at AI and it says where next, it'll go dark green, lighter green. Like all of these are fine. So I'm hopefully going to hit fine. Okay, here we go. And I'll be relaying all the moves. We worked all out how to do all this. So that's Crazy Stone. And this is me. I'm white. Crazy Stone takes a moment. I hate 4-4-4, so I'm going to kick one off.
Yeah. I mean, the opening two moves, you can play just about anything on the third or fourth line in the corner, and it's going to be...
I'll only ask you when it's like, oh, I better ask him about that. Or you just step in when it's like, well, wait a minute. Okay.
Yeah. I think the most interesting points for that are going to definitely be when there's an actual decision to be made.
Yeah. Now here, believe it or not, I'm feeling a decision because I have no stones on the left. And if I just play here, I'm concerned that black's going to get a too big a tempo. So I'm kind of interested in getting over here quickly. Is that important, or is this just not even a problem?
It's not a problem. It's kind of your mood is how I would describe this. What is your mood for today? Do you feel like playing
My mood
tight?
is here.
Then you should play your mood.
Okay.
You're gonna play the best game that you can play if you play your mood. So
I'm just gonna play Giuseppe here. I just did a YouTube Giuseppe video where, because I was having a lot of questions, so I thought, well, let's just, I've made like 5 Giuseppe videos, but I always like doing the new ones.
Yeah, especially because I feel like Q players will see something like this E15 peep, and then you get conflicting opinions, right? Because like some teachers I know will teach that, oh, you can just play the old Giuseppe, you don't need to worry about this move until you're like Dawn level. Because it sort of violates a proverb, right?
Yeah.
You don't typically peep your opponent's stones unless you have a good reason. And but there is a reason in the corner shape to do this, and you know, having that knowledge is useful for the players that can actually use it.
Yeah.
So I think the videos on the topic are probably going to be very well received.
Okay, I'm going to defend my A stone. I'm going to get out. We usually contact the stronger stone. Seems to me that's B. So based on that, I'm contacting here. Make sense?
Yep.
So it's okay. I mean, I can imagine going, no, you can't do that in this case because of.
You can do either one. Generally speaking, it's kind of like a window into the mentality of the player. When I see this one by white, I go, okay, white probably doesn't want to actually invest a whole stone on the top. So the risk of white invasion up there is significantly lessened in the shape. If you play Q14, you keep the pressure of possible H17, J17 available to white later.
Okay. We might say that C is the stronger stone because on top black has 2 problems. That makes sense. So C is actually the stronger one. So I'm going to contact the stronger one. I kind of thought that, and I go, I just didn't figure it out in time.
Yeah, you know, some people, again, I feel like a lot of this is kind of stylistic to the type of game that you know you like to play, right? If you're the kind of person that likes to jump in at H17 and have that kind of chasing and fighting, and that's really your prerogative, then this is the one you're going to play every time. But if you're the kind of person that likes to
Yeah.
just
That's
peacefully
me.
have both sides develop, then you'll play 016 every time, and it's fine either way.
Okay. So far are all pretty straightforward, as are most openings.
Now here we got black to spend another move on the top side anyway, which is always fun.
So at this point, if black pushes, my plan is to back off, and I feel good.
Yep.
But
Right.
if black has a stone here, I'm feeling less good.
Right, because black can just rescue and get the outside.
Okay. So I no longer like the cut.
Okay.
I'm on target, right?
Yeah. Locally, the cut becomes more interesting for black.
This is here. Okay. So my style, he's ready to cut. I don't like it. So I'm going to fix the cut. I'm not going to fix it this way. I do like the points. I do like my life, but I'm giving black so much thickness. So my plan is to save it this way with a contact play.
Okay. Yeah.
And everything's fine. Okay. So far I haven't gone off track. Okay. It will.
No, I think it's okay.
Come.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah, I don't think there's any problem.
Wait, what's the issue here?
I was just calculating something else.
Well,
but I think
show us?
I can.
This is the thing.
I was reading up this.
I see.
But it's a bit you don't have to play this way. You don't have to play this way. This one's fine.
Okay. I didn't think about that. Once I take control, your idea here, that's a fast move. We're in the corner.
Yep.
But then we give something up.
Yeah.
Well, to me, the thing I've been learning in all my lessons these last 2 years, which hasn't been that many, is get stable and play a big move.
Yep.
Well, here I am in the upper right, stable. Play a big move. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, I want to do this one again. If black continues, does white kill?
Yes.
Okay. We usually play this, but in this case, it's not good.
Yeah, because the skirt's open and black's checking it already.
So we feel great. Why in the world wouldn't I play the fast territorial move? Can you think of a reason to not play this fast territorial move?
So yes,
give you control.
The main reason why white would want to play this kind of contact is white wants to induce a response around A, so that white can attack closer to the black group at B and go for something even faster on the right hand side.
Oh, so like this is Sente.
Yeah, so white's trying to get a Kikashi in before white does it, but the problem is it's not Sente. When black jumps to 1, the stone in the corner here is pretty much endgame reduction only. So black will throw it away if the right side is more important. This is a concept that, like, I would say this attachment, if you're like below 2 dan, will be Sente every time. Your opponent's going to answer it. But above 2 dan, you have to really think about it because black might ignore it. Like, if you play this one and black looks at the position and goes, okay, well, maybe I just give that up and do something in the corner, right?
Yeah.
What's the game going to look like for white on top? Like, you could Hane here, but I can still go here. And you can Hane back, but then I can extend. Did I lose anything by ignoring A?
Oh, that is great stuff. get to your level. You must have studied your little behind off.
A lot of pro game reviews and a lot of asking questions. Like, why did they do this? Or why didn't they do this?
Okay.
Mostly.
So this is a, dare I say, a bit slow strategic move. Well, this is just, I'm fine. I'm going to go take points.
Yep.
Okay. That I understand. And that's totally the style I've been developing in my even game. So we'll do it. I was just afraid of that cut, and I shouldn't have been. Oh, I did it. He's thinking.
He was not expecting it either. It looks scary, but when you realize that what black only has one extra move than white in the corner, even now, it's kind of, you have a lot of freedom with how much you actually need to get out of this corner to make something even. But this defending move, that's an interesting one.
Okay, I want to present an idea here that'll be helpful to me. You do a lot of readout, and it's easy for you. Me, readout is the least part of my game. So on principle alone, on easy stuff alone, no deep readout, how am I supposed to judge my A group's health?
So if we go all the way back, like, let me have control for a second.
You have it?
What is a future that you imagine for the A stone from this position?
Any level of health.
Any level of health. So basically life, right?
Yeah.
So we fast forward to this position. Can he kill you?
No.
No. So you already know it's going to be alive. It's already achieved what it needs to do. It's doing the work that it's intended to do. It's going to live. That's all you need. The question is, when you're thinking about adding a whole nother move, especially in Gote to save something that's already going to be alive, you're doing it because you don't want your opponent to get some kind of benefit forcing the life. Okay. So the real question is, how much additional benefit in this corner is black going to get trying to harass the shape? And that's what we're trying to solve for. If the only benefit that black is going to get from this position is black is going to capture 2 stones, black was going to do that anyway in the corner regardless. We were already prepared for this. Black gets some endgame value with A, but that's hardly bigger than B. Right. So this is really what the comparison comes down to.
Okay.
Right.
So in that position, I agree, and that's easy. But fast forward a few moves in the game.
Yeah. Let me go back.
The position's different.
Yeah. Well, he plays this one in the game, but
so now I don't have a counter. I can't go attacking something. So for instance, let's have black play Q18.
Okay.
All of a sudden I'm feeling, where'd my life go?
No. That's when you switch directions.
So do it.
Okay, so let me have white play away somewhere. Let's just have white go here, I guess. Black plays Q18. There's a bunch of things you can do here. You can switch with the peep. This is an interesting probe. You can jump to the center, just stabilize in the middle of the board.
Whoa, what about the cut? What about the cut?
Okay, so what about it? Let me ask you a question. What's the status of the black A group?
Alive now.
What's the status of the black B group?
Alive now. So those 2 stones in the corner are smaller than they appear.
Yeah. So the cut is not meaningful. If black wants to push and go for something like this and like give up all the free shape to white in the center, go for it. Because all white needs to do at this point is use those 2 stones to generate eyes in the middle. And once the group is alive, white still achieved the basic result white was looking for.
Okay, that's good. I saw those 2 stones in the corner and I'm like, I must save them. And it's like, that's not true because black's stable on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
what about the contact play and I get both?
Sure. You can play this one. This one's fine. There's nothing wrong with defending the cut, but generally when I'm playing a defensive move, I like to defend with some kind of purpose. So if I'm gonna invest this move it's probably going to be Sente at this point if black slides. But if we change up the position a little bit, let me take control for a moment and say instead of Q18, let's say black played the better attacking move, which would be the Kosumi. For those that are wondering, A is usually better than B in the shape because the opponent's attachment is Gote.
Yeah, stronger. Yeah.
If I'm going to invest a whole move to protect the cut in Gote, this protecting the cut better do something productive. I don't see a follow-up. And so if I don't see a follow-up, I'm not going to worry about it. It's not big enough because it's a one and done thing, but now I've given my opponent the tempo for free.
Yeah, so
this
giving up the corner, now that black's stable, makes a lot of sense.
Like, the best professional advice I've ever heard came from the pro in Taiwan that I studied with through my friend. And he said, honestly, getting good at Go is really just like understanding the value of a single move. You know, professional players at the highest level, they are nitpicky about every single exchange that they make. And they have to be, because any one bad exchange could lose a tempo 5, 10, 15 moves down the line. You really have to be sensitive to it. So while at 5 done, we might have this margin of error where I can afford to pass with 016 one time, and it's not going to be such a big deal. At a much higher level, I might not get that tempo back. Because if it doesn't give me a follow-up later, then it's not contributing to anything productive.
Okay. So here's the position. And oops, I'm cut. Shall I save my cut? Well, since black's stable everywhere, the A-stones are only Gote points. And I'm out in the center, I'll just live there. Oh, that's a little hard, but I certainly understand it.
Yeah. So it really comes down to sizing. Is saving the territory in the corner right now bigger than any other big move? If the answer is yes, spend the move and save it, because you'll just trade one big move for another with your opponent. You'll both get one big move.
Yeah. Let me ask, it seems to me this is not a great idea for white. Seems slow. Is it?
A little, I mean, so kind of. The short answer is kind of. When you've taken away the 2 liberties on the outside of the 017 group, it's going to help with invasions at J17 in the future.
I see. The weakness of the mark stones means that.
Yeah. So it's it does set up this, which is attractive for white. That is a point of interest white always has in the shape when black doesn't defend the sun point. In the upper left corner, I mean. But also white can protect the cut by connecting at Q15 instead of playing the bamboo as well. So white always has the second, like you can kick, and then when black stands, you can just connect solid. This is another common shape you can do when the cut is going to be big on the right-hand side and doing something meaningful for white. And then this way, white can steal Sente if black has to defend. So it's not to say like P17 would be small. Like P17 is a perfectly fine move. It's just not, it's a move that in and of itself doesn't actually generate much of a follow-up outside of what you're aiming for on the top side, maybe, depending on how black defends.
Okay.
On this board also, we have to factor in, if I can have control for a second. We get in our head a lot of these patterns. We're like, oh, kick, extend. But black has other interesting options too.
Yeah.
So there's other things to consider. Not that white would be upset about something like this or like this, but just other things to be aware of.
Yeah.
In the position, I think. Let me give you control back.
Okay. So for the sake of get alive, play a big move like B, since there's no particular issue up there, I can just go play a big move, nice and fast.
Yep.
And that's the style I've been trying to develop. I find it very helpful to just get points. That's what I've been working on.
Yeah, and I know it looks scary to a lot of people to just see those 4 stones and go, oh my god, black has 6, white has 4, black's about to have 7, but every stone black adds, it gets smaller. So you don't really have to worry about it. You know, if he wants to spend 7 extra moves to capture those 4 stones, so be it.
Okay. Time for the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Big moves. A,
Yep.
B, C, D.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with, we know that A, we've got a 2-stone wall. We like developing the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, A is not bigger than B.
No, they're the same.
Okay. Good. Want to clarify.
Mm-hmm.
D seems lacking. Not Sente, not that big.
D is easily the worst of the 4
Right.
for that reason, but also another one. This is a reason that's maybe a little bit elusive. It's hard to see. But let's say we play D, right? And it's very clear what the follow-up from a move like this is going to be. If black ignores it, we're going to come in on the top side or slide, either one. We have both. And the 3 stones don't have a base. They're floating, essentially,
Yes.
and cut off from the group of the base. However, if we back up 1 move,
I'm
we go back.
handing you control.
There's a concept that high don players like to employ, right? Nobody ever wants to fix A in Gote. So we look for something we can leverage. And, well, you know.
Leverage.
They're going to defend with something like this. And it's doing 2 things. It's creating space towards the center from the base, but it's also saying, hey, white, come back and live. And then now when I take the other big place and white comes in and we start some kind of fight here, that stone has nowhere to run.
Yeah.
It's already behind enemy lines to a very significant degree. It cannot get ahead of black in 1 move.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know how to explain this in simple terms, but this is one of the main reasons why I wouldn't want to play D right now, because even though it looks like, oh, it's helping A if black defends, the problem is black should never be defending in Gote like this or like this. Black should always be looking for the leverage. When white has a weak group, this A becomes really hard if B is not stable.
Yeah. So that's actually a really big one for viewers. White plays here. Oh, I better save. Oh, I better save. That's like our first thought. But to say, well, is there another way? Well, I can attack, and that totally helps. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. That's hard.
Yeah.
So black, my move. I'm a 3/3 guy. I love the 3/3.
Yeah. It's good. Clean points.
That
You will
3/3s
hear no
actually
complaints
make me
about
happy.
me. Yeah. Yeah. So this is I mean, it's probably gonna Hane if I had to guess, because Crazy Stone does not play modern Joseki.
Yeah.
But
You're going to say something, then I have a question.
you can ask your question, because what I was gonna say was gonna come at the end of the Joseki.
Okay.
I want to see which Joseki
So,
it chooses before I make my comment.
Question here.
Yeah.
Could you explain A versus B to us?
Yeah, absolutely. So back in the day, just a little bit of pre-context. A was used to play for either this variation or the double Hane variation. In the advent of AI, this variation has all but disappeared. Because at the point where we get to this part of the Joseki, we've learned that this A, B, C, D exchange turns black's influence into thickness in exchange for 4 extra points or so.
Right.
Where white can, if white only needs to be alive with some extra points, you can take 1 extra point, and then later, the presence of the cutting point at 1 becomes an issue. Players with a lot of game experience will know that as white begins to play on the outside in area A, area B, area C. This wall gets very weak when white can come around D and threaten the cut. It doesn't have any eye space. It doesn't have a base because white's invasion has effectively removed that. So nowadays we see the Hane pretty much exclusively when the plan is to switch and take the corner back. AI's contribution was to play B because if we get the same Joseki with the wall here, this is just a rudimentary example, this peep is a lot less pressure. And the reason being is the number of liberties that the stones have.
Liberties, yeah.
In this position versus when black is going to be cut on the 5th line rather than the 6th line. So we might look at this position and see this shape come up, which is a very sort of common shape in the fight. And it looks like, okay, black is going to have an easy time on both sides in this fight. White's cut here doesn't really accomplish much. But if we compare this to the wall that we got before, this one, and then let's say we get some similar shape. The shape is similar, but black is 1 line lower to the ground. It's going to be less potential, less territory. White's going to have more tactics closer to the edge of the board for sacrificing. In general, being able to throw away the cutting stones that are effectively sitting on Dame to build a bigger outside position elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So
next question. I know I'm interrupting. I apologize.
You're fine. It's all good for the viewers.
Area 2.
Yep.
Cash. White has cash.
Yep. Money. Money, money, money.
Area 1. Let me mark it. Not cash. Am I correct?
Area 1, not cash?
Right.
There's a potential for some code here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that's another reason black likes, not only is he stronger on the outside, but white's territory is not necessarily white's territory.
Right. We got some shenanigans afoot.
Okay. Good. Great.
Yep.
Okay. Where are we in the game? We're here, boom, 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 and I play away again, which is totally my style. I went here.
Yep, he blocked it
this way, and I'm coming out.
Yeah. So, depending on what Crazy Stone does with his next move, I have a comment. I mean, regardless of what he does, I have a comment. But
you want control?
Let's see what it plays first. Okay, yeah, we need control because I already know where it's going to go from here. So what's interesting about this is that this one removes a lot of the value at the left-hand side. Low settled stones tend to remove value on the sides that they're played against. You can't attack them. And they're very difficult to build off of because they're lower on the ground. They take longer to get to the center. That bodes very, very well for these 3 white stones because they're already poised to be reduction stones on the left side anyway. But if the left side becomes super uninteresting, less valuable, we never really have to worry about black getting a meaningful attack against these.
Oh, okay. Play out a variation because I'm starting to understand what you're saying.
So let's imagine we just push twice and then white says, okay, I'm going to take the big place. Okay, let's say black comes in and attacks. Well,
so small now.
Yeah, small. So I go here. Black attacks again. Okay, we can live in the corner. It's fine. If black plays from the corner direction, okay, well, those stones only need to reduce the left anyway. I'm just going to push, get the reduction in one more time, and then play my next big follow-up because even if black goes here, it's still going to be smaller than whatever I'm doing.
And if you choose to live, you can do that too.
And if you choose to live, you can do that too, right? So black is removing his own attack possibility by choosing this direction.
Oh, this is deep stuff.
And if black had played this way, white would have been very happy to get this push because now this exchange is really good for white on the outside. If black played something like this to remove the extension follow-up, for example, like just one local shape white can go for is here, or even just the standard one, this one, and the left side is already beginning to look like it could very easily become a white territory.
Yeah.
So white was happy regardless of which direction black chose. But it's just a really interesting thing to note the relationship between what black's decision at c6 actually means for the future of these 3 stones.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You think so deeply in the positions. Yeah, that's hard. I think deeply. People get, Lance, would you shut up about the position? But yours is so much more comprehensive. So it's something else. Okay. So we're here.
Mm-hmm.
I play. He's going to extend, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get my Sente in.
Yeah, it's good because the Hane at c6, c8 is still big for white, so no reason not to push.
Yeah. And for viewers, just imagine white haunting there. The left becomes white's again. And black has bad shape. Yeah. So he has to play again. And then my upper left is settled. My bottom left is settled. The bottom's biggest. I can just play there.
Yeah. Yeah. Third line,
So
fourth
then I
line,
have
really your choice.
C too far?
Probably a little bit.
I would think C's too far. Yeah.
Yeah, because black can pinch quite comfortably. A pincer is a little bit harder, gives up more in the corner. So A and B would be the 2 I would look at. Just kind of when you're making a decision like this in the game, at least if I'm the one playing white and I'm looking at it, I like to play A when I think there's going to be a lot of dynamic stuff happening in the center that needs center support, and the balance of territory is usually in my favor or even. Those are the sort of 2 things I think about when I'm deciding if I want to play A over B. If I don't think that the center is going to be particularly interesting, like let's say, pass me control for a second. Let's say, and I'm not really reading this, but let's just say I have the feeling that like these 2 stones are going to do enough on their own to handle the center, and I feel like I could use a few more points. I'll play B. And that's really how I would choose between the 2.
Okay.
At least that would be.
I would play 4th line because the upper right, I'm just so unsure what's going on. I want support. So I would play 4th line. Now, I tend to not know what to do when black plays here.
Do you have to do anything?
So generally my first thought is, well, that's kind of slow and small. If I feel in trouble, I might contact or something. But really, like you said, there's no need to do anything.
Yeah. So the contact play here, this is an interesting point of discussion as well. The contact play here locally is always a good move.
Is it?
Yes. The problem is that at this point it's Gote. So like black can extend underneath, or white, white could block, give up this, then white can take Sente. But there's ways for black to weasel out with Sente. So if white has a bigger Sente to take first, usually white will take that Sente and then attach. But in general, it's good next to the wall because if white can over-concentrate the black stones, then the territory in the corner that white got is very efficient.
Bigger and bigger, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it makes this trade better and better for white. So usually we don't worry about black playing, like checking from the A side, because the A side is already so concentrated and small. Like if we could imagine the shape looked something more like this. I'm just going to add another move to the corner just so that we have Sente. If we could imagine black had a thicker shape like this, black's always going to want to play from here.
Right.
Black wants to break in the area white's developing. White's got a fast, thin corner that black can poke against. There's a lot of interesting stuff here black can look at. But if black is just helping white fix, whoops, let me not misclick here. If black is just helping white fix with something like this, or something even like this, for example, then the potential that black gets in here becomes less and less.
Right.
It becomes much harder for black to do anything productive here. So this attachment locally in the shape anyway is always good. I've never seen a situation where this move is bad.
Right. Okay. So that black move is small.
Mm-hmm.
Let's imagine I go ahead and do my corner thing.
Yep.
What does white do?
Attach on top again if you want to answer it all.
Okay.
So here's
There
how
I go again, thinking my territory.
Let me reframe the position a little bit. This can be helpful for visualization. The main reason white plays A, right? We have this dichotomy between the two opposing influences. And for the Q players that don't understand why I'm calling this corner enclosure in the bottom right an influence, it's because at any point black can invade with something like this or with 3/3 and white's going to get a big wall. So we can look at that as, okay, white's got influence going towards the bottom, black has influence going towards the bottom. A is the meeting point of two opposing colors' influence.
Right.
But let's imagine black wants to expand that influence. That's a pretty damn good place to expand it to.
Yeah.
If we can get to a shape like this, black's expansion on the bottom side becomes incredibly efficient.
Right.
So imagine white just comes in. White's a little kid. He doesn't know any better. He drops a Lego on the floor. Now black wants to run all the way to the right side. Oops, black steps on a Lego. You know, we've hindered how far black can effectively go. Because now if black goes all the way to the corner, situation's changed. White's not doing the same thing. Now white has support on the outside. White can switch the direction. So he can't go that far.
Deep stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you've already successfully reduced the space that wall can expand by half. That's all it needed to do. If it costs black 3 more additional steps in tempo to get to where black could have gone and won, that stone did its job and it's worth its sacrifice.
Okay. So wait for when he's thinking it, my mouth just freaks out. Okay, so I went here.
That's a lot of stuff.
He plays here. Okay. So to me, it's the big thing I learn is how I'm constantly get sucked into my points. I'm getting weak when none of that's important. And I find I start to do it here. It's like, okay, just what do I want to accomplish? Okay, so let me go through my ideas here.
Yep.
I don't like getting cut.
Nope.
Because black already has a wall. It's going to be a huge long 19 lines long. So to me, that's the main thing. I don't want to get cut.
Yeah.
Great. I was correct.
Yeah.
Great. Based on that, go ahead.
I was going to say Q players might get a little bit curious as to why we mentioned before being attacked. White can play very light and flexibly, and even ignore an attack like C12 outright. And while I would recommend ignoring moves like C12, I would not recommend ignoring moves like C13.
Yeah, contact moves are more forceful. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to save this way.
Yep. Yeah, the outside direction is clearly going to be the most important one, especially now that we've played K4.
So in my mind, I've had no reason to count yet. But as soon as I get this group stable, that's the first time in the game I'm going to count because I have no idea where I stand. Okay, boom, boom. Yep. How do I fix this? D15, everything fits. C, so let me get the ABC marker out. White A, all is fixed with some good shape. B, ugly shape, too heavy. B, maybe, might be Sente.
Mm-hmm.
So if B is Sente, I would play that and then come back at A. So I would have to think to myself, okay, if this and he starts in, that's the fear.
Mm.
I feel troubled. I don't want to read this out.
Yeah, you can just extend to the edge in this shape a lot of the time. It's either that or Hane.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to play A. How bad is that? Just slow?
I think it's okay. Let's imagine black bumps.
Is that the bump?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hane. Yep.
I'm feeling good.
Yep. So is black.
This is true. All I want out of the situation, I mean, I'm the one with the weak group.
Mm-hmm.
All I want is stability. I don't want to also make black weak. You do, which is why you're the stronger player.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be fine, I think.
Show it.
But black is there's a lot of variables, right? Because at some point we're thinking about, can we come back to C? Can we come in at D? There are follow-ups that are hanging in the balance. I would say if the top had already been settled, like let's say something like this were to happen and then black already have Sansan or something to protect this, or let's say even just this jump, then yeah, I'd be on board with this. No future up there at all, nothing we have to worry about. We're not losing anything defending this way. But allowing these exchanges is a bit ajikeshi with a lot of what's going on the top because we've helped the corner for free. My personal opinion, if I'm white, I just want to extend and keep the options open. I don't really mind getting cut. If black cuts, I can drive, for example. Get a strong outside.
I see, yeah.
You know, he can bump in Hane, but then at least I can play this one later in the future, or I can double Hane, you know, stuff like this. I have more follow-ups in this shape than I do in the other one. So for me, it's like there's the extra layer of how do I balance not giving up too much in the D area to black when I might do stuff up there later. Ultimately, probably anything that you do here is going to be fine, to be honest. But these are the things that I'd be thinking about.
Okay. So I'm so concerned about the center that I'm thinking, oh, I'm cut. Well, not my main stones.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's my problem with I tend to not read.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your move makes so much more sense. And if I had just done a little deeper read, which I would have done if I wasn't talking all the time.
Right.
Okay. So let's go ahead and play that way. I mean, I think I would play that in a real game. It's not hard to find if you're looking and want to read.
We've also had games before where you've done this exact same variation, so so I know it's a move you know about.
Oh, that's right. You and I played that exact sequence. That's funny. Yep. I've gotten so much out of our teaching games. Chris, I've gotten so much out of our teaching games. Really helpful, my lessons with you. So thank you.
I'm glad.
Okay. How's my group? Not alive. Can I get surrounded? No. Well, I've been playing fast. I'm not in trouble. So I'll go play another fast move. Sound good? Yeah? You're hesitating.
I'm considering if we can get some freebies first.
Yeah, that's where I was going first. A.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think A is a move that in principle you should make before playing away. the positives of the turn at A, even if it doesn't end up being Sente, eventually we're going to come back to this upper right/right side area. And if that somehow ever becomes anything running to the middle, that turn at A is going to be helpful.
Yeah.
For offense or defense. It's a move you'd much rather have than not.
Yeah. Also, if black plays it, he's starting to build things again, and
yeah,
a lot of reasons to play that.
Some new potential to his left side area, which we'd prefer he not do.
Okay, so I want to go through the process again. I decided my B group is fine. I'm going to go do whatever fast thing I like. My first thought was A. I'm not seeing A as defense. I'm seeing A as big, powerful, productive. Okay. And of course, my second thoughts were on the bottom. That's big too. But yeah, I like A a lot. I would be concerned because it could be Gote. That's a concern to me. Here I am playing all these fast moves. Now I'm playing a Gote. Bit concerned, and yet my group loves it. So I don't know how to balance the the things there, but I got it in Sente. Okay. I don't want to do anything here until this group is settled somehow. Does that sound okay? Or do you think I should just feel free to just jump in?
Control?
Yes.
This type of move I file in my brain under psychology of Go. We can think of this turn as a probe. I know it's very weird to say that, but we're basically asking, how much value do you put on the safety of these 3 stones? Because black could just as easily ignore this. Right? If black thinks white's going to be alive anyway, black could ignore that and say, okay, white, you want to come in or do whatever you want to do, go for it. I'm going to live either way. It's going to be fine. I'll just treat the bottom left as living group. No big deal. But black didn't do that. Black saved it. And when I see my opponent save these 3 stones, you know what that tells me?
What?
They really want to attack my A stones. So I'm thinking if I Tanuki, random Tanuki incoming, what is the most likely follow-up? This one. Right? It's either going to be here or it's going to be not the turn. It's going to be something like this. Black is going to start chasing us down the length of his wall and then break us out into the middle where he can try to do things. So I don't want that to happen. If we know that we're trying to come in on the top and we know that black is playing B in preparation to attack us further, it's pretty safe to say that if we come in, black's ignoring us. Is this a trade we're willing to make?
Okay, so I was thinking the upper right was weak, but also the upper left is weak for us.
Yeah, the upper left is a bigger investment. We have more stones there. If I was white, I'd do this without thinking.
Keep working on getting rid of black Sente.
Yeah, because we don't want G14 to be a real move against the upper left corner. Because if black can defend our invasion by attacking something else, then he has leverage and our invasion doesn't really work. But if we defend the group first and then we invade, he doesn't have anything to bother to get freebies from.
Okay. Oh man, your mind is just
yeah, always.
okay. So when we look at this position, we should be thinking, well, you know, black loves this and I don't love this. What should I do? Well, I could just come in. Well, now I have 3 weak groups. Okay. Well, what else? He just said he wanted the triangle stones. Let me press that. Negates his wall, gets me out, and this is no longer an attack. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
hard.
Yeah.
It's a hard move for a lot of players, actually. Until you get the handle of moves that have this kind of flavor, you sort of learn to recognize them subconsciously. It does a lot of positive things for white, even though it looks like it's just a simple attach and extend, you know? Like, oh, we're just defending. But, you know, really, we're doing a lot. like you said, we're reducing his wall, right? He's becoming more concentrated on the left. And we're preparing our invasion topside by strengthening our weak group that's going to be closest to it.
Yeah.
So I like this move, personally.
Yeah. And against Q players, we end up killing the A group half the time.
I didn't want to say it, but
it's so true.
I'm going to amend your statement, actually. Against Q players, they end up killing the A group more than half the time.
Killing the A group all by themselves. It's the funniest thing to watch.
Yeah.
You and I both experienced that countless times. And it becomes kind of blindfold go. They're weak, so you just put stones down and they die. It's just
it's like we're just saving ourselves. It's not like we intended to kill you.
Right.
You just intended to die today. Like
Okay, we've been at this an hour almost, which is pretty close to the time we want. So let's do a quick review here. My style is here, okay, which I'm declaring as fast. That's the term I'm using. Play the Joseki. Then we have to decide which is the stronger stone. Since D is unfinished, that makes C the stronger stone. Little bit difficult to see that. We don't care about the cut. Now I'm starting to care. Should I care? I'm still stable. Play a fast move. Boom. Play a fast move. Here we see our upper left white stones just being perfect. That's really attractive. Okay. Big move's obvious. Fourth line, because to me, our upper right is weak. I want a fourth line stone here. Make me feel better. Gotta get out. Fix it A, slow. This was hard for me. It's like, oh, but I'm cut. No, you're not cut. That's just a nothing stone he took. Okay. Trying to find the game here. Okay, is that the game? No. Is that the game? No. Is that the game? No. Berg. So I played here. What did he do? This?
Yeah, he played pretty sure he played this on some.
I'm going to give you control. See if you can piece it together. The move tree is so messed up. I can't find it.
Yeah. We did this one, and I think he turned actually first. He turned, and then he played this one.
There you go.
Yeah, because we ended up turning at A right after that, and then he defended, and we got to this point.
Okay, so the turn at A, to me, is a critical point in the game. I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I would have to, hopefully, stay calm, work it out. I'm in my own head. I don't have to talk to anybody. Okay. You're like, oh, it's so easy, though. It's ridiculous. So it's a nice, thick move. We get it in Sente. We want to remove this idea. Therefore, we keep coming. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Chris.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for showing up.
Yep, I think George DC'd from the call earlier, but he's with us still in spirit.
Yeah. Okay, viewers, I hope you got something out of it. I certainly did. Thank you again, Chris. Bye, everybody.
Take care.